A pleasant morning to everyone. I am Christine Joy Eduardo and today I am going to discuss our topic and that is all about picture books. According to Thomas Kuhn, picture books are very important for young children whose appreciation and interest level far surpass their reading ability. To read a picture book, the child reads the picture as the adult or reader reads the accompanying text. The story and the illustrations are unified so a child may get the sense of the story through the pictures alone. Picture books are aimed at the young children. Many are written with vocabulary a child can understand but necessarily read. For this reason, picture books tend to have two functions in the lives of children. They are first read to young children by adults and then children read them themselves once they begin learning to read. So, let us move on to the history of picture books. Illustrated books of poems and short stories paved the way for the first picture books. A few English illustrators whose books had more pictures than words included Randolph Caldecott, Walter Crane, and Kate Greenaway in the late 80s. In 1902, Beatrix Potter's classic The Tale of Peter Rabbit was published, which resembled the picture book's format. Along with changes in technology, the format of a picture book has adapted changes in art technologies, including digital art. Also, as events in history have shaped the world, picture books have addressed multicultural issues.
Genre. It identifies the content and subject matter of a book. Genre designates a type. For example, mystery, adventure, science fiction, history, traditional literature, informal and anthropomorphic or animal stories. While they exist, it is difficult to find mystery or science fiction picture books. Unlike novels, picture books have fewer genres. Elements of picture books. It have 32 pages standard, though titles can be 24 to 48 pages. Its illustrations dominate text, and illustrations integrate with the narrative to bring the story to a satisfying conclusion. Word count of picture books is generally less than 500 words. Although picture books can have over 2,000 words or have none at all, as is the case with wordless picture books. Overall design builds a relationship between the text and the illustrations. This includes the front matter, back matter, and the book jacket. Picture books are a format, form, or design, and not a genre or content. It evaluates visual aspects of picture books through physical characteristics, elements of illustrations in isolation, and the elements of illustrations in the picture book context.
Wordless books. Wordless books are excellent tools to help children develop language and narrative skills. In wordless books, text is absent or minimal, so children apply meaning to the story. The marvel of wordless books is the opportunity to tell the story over and over. Illustration in wordless books offer a degree of detail and plot complexity. Toy books. Toy books physically engage the reader. Include board books, pull-tab books, flap books, pop-up books, and plastic books. Toy books can be simple or very complex. Concept books. Concept books foster visual literacy and language development in children. Concept books introduce children to shape, colors, the alphabets, counting, and more difficult concepts such as principle of grammars and time. Alphabet books introduce children to the ABCs, and counting books introduce numbers and counting. Easy readers. sometimes called beginning books, are transition books for moving from picture books to chapter books. They are designed to read with minimal or no assistance from adult. Features include larger typefaces, short sentences, sight words, and extra space between words and lines. Animal stories. Animal stories are realistic stories that have animal as the main character. Animal and object talk, walk, dress, and otherwise behave like humans. There is usually little or no magic because the animals or objects have human characteristics that render them capable of extraordinary feats. Settings can be imaginary or contemporary.
Informational books or picture books are an alternative to encyclopedia and other reference sources. Illustration and photographs are bright and colorful. The accuracy of timeliness of titles is important. Look for source notes, bibliographies, indexes, and a table of contents, the mark of exceptional nonfiction. The quality of informational books are easy to read and eliminate threat to young readers. Informational books are sometimes called nonfiction books. Their main purpose is to provide a source of knowledge on a variety of topics. There are types of informational books: chapter books, activity books, concept books, pop-up books, and etc. Next one, traditional literature. Traditional literature includes tall tales, fairy tales, folk tales, tricksters' tales, myths, legends, noodlehead tales, Jataka tales, beast tales, creation stories, mother goose, and fables. Traditional literature features storytelling patterns, rich language, and elements of fantasy. Traditional literature can be set in both imaginary and contemporary settings. Next is magic realism. Magic realism is a fusion of reality and imagination with dreamlike imaginary that heightens the experiences. Ordinary activities are infused with a sense of wonder and promise, like anything is possible. For example, a boy can take a purple crayon and create a fabulous dream world. Next example is a board game can come to life, or a boat can transport a frustrated child to a land where wild things rule. These tales can have a contemporary or an imaginary setting. Magic realism are often refers to literature in particular with magical or supernatural phenomena presented in an otherwise real-world or mundane settings, commonly found in novels and dramatic performances. Next is realistic stories. Realistic stories feature sympathetic characters that children identify and empathize with. For the last 2 decades or so, authors have explored timely, somber topics in picture books such as cancer, death, homosexuality, adoption, and AIDS. Realistic books can have a contemporary or historical setting. Realistic fiction books is a genre consisting of stories that could have actually occurred to people or animals in a believable settings. These stories resemble real life, and fictional characters within these stories react similar to real life people.